Hey guys, so until now we have spoken about what is pH and how do I find out the pH of any material that I wanted. It can be an acid, can be a base, can be anything at all in the world. Everything will have a certain pH, we just need to find it. So why is this pH important, right? We know pH can tell us which acid is stronger and which acid is weak, which base is strong, which base is weak, basically anything in the world. Is it acidic, is it basic, or is it nothing, right? Now that it becomes important because it is something that's a really strong acid, we need to be away from it, right? So a strong acid is one that can give out more number of hydrogen ions, and more hydrogen ions means more reactivity, right? If it falls on your skin, it's basically more damage, right? So there are a lot of reasons why pH is important. Today we will look at a couple of reasons why it's important in daily life, right, for people in general. So very first thing I can talk about is acid rain, right? You must have studied about acid rain earlier in school, science, social, somewhere. What acid rain is simply water, right? Water has to have a pH of 7, which is neutral, not less, not acidic, not basic. Now what happens sometimes when it rains is because of pollution and like a lot of other reasons, the water just becomes acidic, right, because of the gases and all that. Now what happens when water becomes acidic? It's bad for us, right? We cannot drink acidic water, right? Mainly it becomes a problem for fish or any aquatic organisms. It becomes a problem for plants who live on the ground, and if acid water is falling on them, it means they're going to get damaged, right? So pH can be used to assess the pH level of water, the water that is falling as rain, right? And if there is a place showing acid rain, then we need to figure out how can I reduce this, how can I make sure that there is no acid rain. We use the general methods that we can to fight pollution, do anything, make sure the rain is not acidic, or at least save our certain areas and demise, whatever works at the point of time. Okay, another thing pH is important for is our own survival, our human body, right? So blood has a certain level of pH, right, which gets maintained. If it fluctuates because of diseases or any other external conditions, we need to be able to manage that and bring it back to its original pH level. One of the simplest problems, or common problems I should say, we see is tooth decay, cavities and problems in the mouth. Now the mouth is a bit of a nasty place, I should say, because one is there's saliva in it, right? Saliva has a purpose in digestion, right? It breaks down food at the mouth itself slightly, so it is like a bit acidic in nature, very little. Okay, along with that, what happens is whenever you eat food and stuff remains in your teeth here and there, bacteria will start eating that remains of the food, and when it eats it, it starts producing acid as a byproduct. Because of that, what happens is the area in your mouth starts to get more and more acidic. Okay, and teeth are made of enamel, right? They're calcium, but they have a coating of enamel on the outside that protects our teeth. Now this enamel will start to get damaged or corroded once the pH of your mouth falls below 5.5, right? So that is why we need to make sure that the pH of our mouth is less, not less than 5.5. It should be somewhere close to 7 or as above 5.5 as possible. I can just do a simple test with this. It's probably a little gross, but I'm going to check the pH of my own mouth, because why not, right? I'll just Okay, I don't recommend doing this, but in the name of science I'm going to do it. Ow. Okay, ideally it should be as close to R7 level, that is this shade of green as possible, right? And I think it's kind of on 7 if you see, right? This greenish shade is quite close to 7, maybe a little below 7, right? Which is still fine. Means my mouth is okay, right? Now if you know, we brush our teeth every morning, at least I hope we all do. Now why brushing is important is because when we sleep in the night, after we wake up in the morning, there's usually a lot of activity happening in the mouth, right? Toothpastes are made of a base, okay? They are a base, so you're brushing your teeth with a base and your mouth is acidic, so acid and base, they react and neutralize, right? We're essentially doing a neutralization reaction in our mouth every morning when we brush our teeth. You try to make sure all the acid is brushed away with all the base and your teeth are clean, nothing's remaining on it, nothing for the bacteria to eat, and then your mouth is going to be fresh, right? That is the best way to keep your mouth healthy. Brush your teeth twice a day at least, and typically after eating your food if possible. All right. Now there are many other ways for pH to be important in daily life. One another way that I can say is in our tummies, right? Acid is every single day produced in our stomach, right? That's how we digest our food. We produce, technically actually we produce hydrochloric acid or a form of it in our stomach, right? Surprisingly, our stomach does not burn itself even though there's acid in it pretty much all the time, right? That's because our stomach is protected by a layer of mucus that doesn't let it damage our own system, right? Now you must have heard people say, oh, soft drinks are bad for you, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all of these things are not good, and they are right. I'll tell you why. Because this is a sample of Coca-Cola that I have with me, I think that's thumbs up, I'm not sure. Now I have dipped my pH paper in this, and you look at that, it's become kind of orange. Now what does this orange tell me? It's pH level 3. That is close to being a strong acid. It's not exactly 3, it's a little below, right? So carbonic acid, you're drinking literal acid, right? That is why they say it's not good for you. 1, it will damage your teeth because it's acidic. 2, there's already a lot of acid in your stomach. Adding more kind of makes your stomach more irritated, right? Which is why they say that cola is bad for you, right? So this is actually called carbonic acid, which is a fairly weak form, but sometimes it can be strong too. Okay, so that is why this is bad for you, and your stomach needs to be maintained on pH. For teeth, we use toothpaste, which is all well and good, but what about my stomach, right? I can't put toothpaste in my stomach. So what do I do for this? This is why we use Gelusil, Eno, and these antacid, what we call antacid tablets or syrups. They are also base, right? So what they do is again the same thing. They go meet the acid in the stomach. Since it's base, acid plus base react, neutralize, form some salt and water, which is okay for our stomach. Same essential work. Now finally what I'm going to show you is pH for soil. Now when I have soil, why is it important to know the pH of soil? Because everything grows on our soil, right? This is a sample of soil that's right outside my house, which has a bit of stones in it, which is I guess still fine. So I'm just going to add some water to it, kind of make a solution out of it. It doesn't dissolve, but I'll just like kind of swirl it around in it, right? Now the pH of soil is very important and it's also very delicate, right? You got to make sure that it doesn't go beyond a certain range. Shouldn't be too acidic, shouldn't be too basic, shouldn't be proper neutral also, right? So for a soil to be healthy, its pH should be somewhere between 6.5 to 7.5. It can even go up till 5.5 to 7.5. It depends. So if you see, it depends on the soil, right? Once I dipped my paper in the soil, it kind of gave me a greenish tinge. If I measure it out, it's close to neutral. It's not exactly neutral, but it's close, right? So this tells me that my soil, the one that my plants grow in, are actually good. And the soil is good, that is why my plants are healthy, right? Now you will see that some soils are a bit acidic. Their pH will be a little below the normal, and that is suitable for some type of plants, right? For some, the soil will be a little basic, like a little more above 7, and that's again suitable for a different type of plant, right? This is why you see that some plants only grow in some places, right? Other than temperature and rainfall and other things, even soil is one of the factors for a plant in a certain area to grow. Right, so these are the main 3-4 points that we talk about in terms of importance of pH. These are also there in your reader in the same pH topic. I do advise you to go through it. Small simple theory topic, we did a little bit of experimentation. I hope you enjoyed the class and understood it. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.